Salam viewers, this is your host Muhammad Ali Haider and you're watching your very own career quest where dreams meet direction. Today, we'll delve into the world of civil services, a whole journey that seeks a lot of hard work, but with that, what remains most important is your strategy and planning. And how we can plan our journey with that, what are the requirements we can call basic requirements for this industry, and with that, for this examination that an aspirant wants to appear in. For that, we'll get our guidance from our guests. To begin with, Sir Taimoor Bukhari, a well-known educationist and a CSS mentor. Assalamu alaikum, sir, and I welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Our second guest, a renowned essay mentor, and he's currently serving as AC Lahore. My teacher, Sir Adnan Bashir, sir, I welcome to the show. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for the honor.
Before we formally begin our discussion, let's give a look to this report.
Cracking a competitive exam is not just about intelligence, it's about preparation, consistency, and confidence. Across Pakistan, thousands of young aspirants are stepping up every year to take on challenges like CSS, PMS, and other public sector exams with great determination. The good news: with the right guidance, structured study plans, and smart time management, success is within reach. Coaching centers, online resources, and mentoring programs are now more accessible than ever, supporting our youth in their journey. And more importantly, perseverance and self-belief are turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. So if you are dreaming big, start today, stay focused, and believe in your potential. Because success in competitive exams is not a matter of chance. It's a result of choice, discipline, and passion.
Welcome back to the show. To begin with our discussion, let's move to our guests. Sir Taimoor, I'd like to know that what really is civil services and why we see so many students every year looking for this job.
Every state has three pillars: executive, judiciary, and the legislature. Here in executive, the CSS officer, the Central Superior Services, as it name it is, it deals with the executive branch of the state. So they are the highest officers in their offices who run the affairs of the state. So that is why, I mean, it is one of the sought after jobs in every state, not in Pakistan, in every other country. So this is what about CSS is all about. And they have 12 departments which which run the state affairs, starting from PAS to police service, and then commerce and trade, and there are different departments of it. So this is how the structure of civil service is.
All right. So Adnan, being a civil servant yourself, do you really think is it all worth it, seeing so many students aspiring for this journey?
I do believe in one thing, that the purpose of any job would always be one that if it is satisfying your soul. So in this particular field, you'll get this opportunity every other day, probably every second, that you're going to make a difference in so many people's life, in a discipline or in any service structure. So I do believe in one thing, that if your life's purpose and motto is to serve, so this is the best platform to go with.
Your point is noted, sir. Moving towards you, Sir Taimoor. So what are those milestones that a student needs to achieve to become a civil servant? What are those basic steps from which a student must start?
The stepping step would be the correction of English writing expression.
Very important.
If we go through the civil service reports, the examination reports, we would see that every other examiner, ranging from the compulsory subjects to the optional ones, they are telling that the examination, the examination sheets are rife with grammatical mistakes and the English mistakes, and the whole examination is because the state language is English, so that is why the whole examination is in English. So this is how, that should be the first step of every candidate, that we need to start with English writing skill.
Okay.
What has happened with us, with the advent of BS system, we have lost some attention towards giving some good attention towards English writing skills.
All right.
And in the universities, we are not taught, exclusively the English language. So that is why the candidates, after their intermediate, they do not put any efforts for writing skills. So if a candidate is not well versed with the English writing, so he or she would not be able to qualify this exam. So according to me, according to my decade-long experience, I would say the first step is, you have to have good English writing skills, then rest is there would be the secondary steps.
All right, so your point is noted. Sir Adnan, as sir talked about English and grammar, you being an essay guide and mentor, we see a lot of essay mentors, especially in our city, Lahore. So how do you think that essay makes a difference with regards to your preparation of civil services?
So exactly, to continue with the third point of view, if you see and look into the examiner report, you would get to see that every year there is this massive percentage which is many times fabricated, that it is around 98%. No, it is somewhere around
That's
85% to 90%. And if you see the statistics, you would get to know that this is the one major crucial subject in almost every other competitive exams that you are going to appear in, right? So giving the fact that essay is that one crucial subject which can make or break the things. At the same point, essay has so many teachers there. Essay is not that difficult. This is something that we need to understand. It is just another write-up that you would do in any other exam. But the major issue is that the issue that they have raised or they have made try to be a unique one had created so many confusions for the aspirant. So I do believe in one thing, that if you have a right direction specifically for essay, it is not a matter of more than 30-40 days or probably 10-15 lectures. It is a tip for them as well. Make sure that wherever you go, you at least get an idea in 1 or 2 lectures that the person who is teaching you is teaching you for the money or teaching you for out of the passion. So I think essay is a crucial one. So you need to choose the mentor rightly.
So Taimoor, would you like to add something to it?
There is some fault on the part of aspirants as well.
All right.
They would come to me, they would go to Adnan, but they would, they know that we are teaching something. I'm a CSS mentor, Adnan is a CSS mentor, but they would never go through the examiner reports. In 2019, the examiner of the FPSC, they publish an official report through the platform of FPSC that how to write an essay. And now there are 101 ways towards passing exam. There are 101 ways towards learning swimming.
True.
So we have to choose one. And what is the right way? If you go through the market, there are hundreds of books teaching that, telling that how to write an essay.
Exactly.
But there is one right way. And what is the right way chosen by the FPSC? That is written in the report. So aspirants are highly encouraged to read that report before coming to me, before going to Adnan. So this is how they should be.
But sir, with that, I'd like to know, what are those other subjects that one should choose? Should one look for their aptitude first, or is it about the marks trend that one should look for?
For the subject selection, there are 4 things.
Okay.
First of all, there is scoring trend. Okay, their scoring trend is a reality, but there are a few exceptions. It varies from student to student, aspirant to aspirant. There are some aspirants, who have defied the scoring trends as well. Even if it's a low scoring subject in any particular year, they've got very good marks. And then the second step is the availability of the material. For instance, if I want to opt for philosophy, and I would say that I want to, its scoring trend is good, but if I do not get the right material for philosophy, then how would I know? Then the next step is looking at the syllabus. There are 2 types of syllabus for the optionals. One is close-ended, like in the case of political science.
True.
They have certain topics, and you have to memorize and kind of reproduce, not reproduce, but kind of reproduce them. And then there comes international relations. They have open-ended subject. They do not have the specific. They're given you theories, and you have to apply to them. So the 4th step towards opting the optional subjects is your aptitude, that it goes with the aptitude or not. Can you memorize it? And you cannot memorize it. So it is not one cap fits all. It varies from aspirant to aspirant, person to person, and also it depends upon their educational background.
Your point is noted. Sir, Adnan, being a civil servant yourself, what did you focus on while choosing your optional subjects? Because as sir has mentioned, a lot of characteristics regarding, what are the basic requirements to choose. So what were your considerations?
I believe in one thing. If you're going to choose your optionals, you have to make choices between 2. Number one is that what was my criteria? I believe that one is credibility, another one is capability. So capability comes when you have interest of certain subjects.
True.
Credibility comes when you have read it in your bachelor or probably in your intermediate or somewhere else, right? So I believe whenever you're going to choose a subject, it shouldn't be the case that you simply, because I have already pointed out, majority of the mentors out there, they would tell you that these are the subjects that you can go with, right? Political science and any other subject that they teach in their academies, right? So I believe that it should be like this, that you have a clear slate, clear mind. While choosing a subject, you can go, either you have to choose 600 subjects, you can go choosing 1200 subjects. It is not the case, right?
Okay.
So just put a filter of credibility and capability while limiting those subjects. The real issue with us is that if I'm going to choose a subject, it has been directed to me by somebody. If you are going to choose it, that should not be the case. So if you really want to choose a subject, open your syllabus, it is there on internet. You can go through, sift each and every subject that is there, and it is very likely that you would defy the norms which have been taught to you, that you have to choose. And there is again this combination that if you're going to go with political science, you have to choose the constitutional, you have to go with the environmental science. If you're going, you have to go with the geography and things like this. So I believe that majority of the polluted environment is because majority have been taught, they have been somewhat feeded to do this. So what I did was I actually opened up the syllabus. I looked all the papers, all the syllabus of the contents of all subjects. I basically made sure that which subject is according to my interest and which is because of the experience or the degree that I have. Then I had shortlisted almost around 13 to 14 subjects. And then again, you have to only choose 6 ones, right? I shortlisted 13 to 14. Then the second stage is that I looked at the contents. I got an idea, okay, this is this understanding. Then simply I jumped back to the past papers and I matched the understanding. If it is matched there, it means that I do have a certain ABC, no ABC of that particular subject. So basically capability, credibility to shortlist the subjects and then look into the contents and then refer back to the past papers. By doing so, you would automatically, on your own, you would sift 600 subjects.
Your point is noted, sir. Sir Taimoor, I'd like to know that, okay, once we are done with choosing our optionals, what next now?
Now, first of all, we need to break down the syllabus. And we need to see that how we have to prepare. You can prepare it while sitting at home, and you can prepare it while going to someone. It depends upon you. In either case, both are equally good. Now, what happens is that, first of all, if I'm sitting at home, that what I need to do is that I need to break up the syllabus. I have to make a syllabus and I have to be consistent that I have to, for instance, if I'm opting for international law and there are 20 topics in total, so I have to break up in 20 topics. I have to make a schedule that I'm going to, prepare for 2 topics daily. So in 10 days, I would be done with my international law. So this is how, ranging from first subject, from essay to Prezi to all the subjects, we have to make a schedule, and then we have to see that in 10 to 15 days I am to complete a subject. So this is how I have to complete. So it will take around 4 to 6 months for an aspirant sitting at home or going to an academy. So not more than that. So when they're done with the preparation. But having said that, this was the first step that you have, you have read the syllabus, you've memorized things. Now, the examination is not of memorization. It is of written examination.
Very
important. It is the written examination. Now, first, I always give an analogy that if you want to learn swimming, and I ask you as a mentor that, go and buy a book of 101 ways to learn swimming, you buy that book, you memorize it, and then you're ready. And can you come to me and ask me that I'm ready for the championship? You cannot. Until and unless you plunge into the pool and you dive into it and you start practicing in the right way. So this is how you're going to do. For me, 20% was the preparation that you did in your memorization and going through your syllabus, and 80% was the written practice. So you need to practice a lot. A lot means a lot. In 6 days in CSS, if we're talking about, we undertake 12 subjects, and in PMS there are different days. So in 10 to 12 days in total, so we go through the examination and we become the part of executive. So how would we make the examiner aware that we are well prepared by our written expression? And how do we do that? By writing over and over again, practicing. So 80% would be your written practice and 20% would be your memorization.
Very true, sir. Your point is noted. Sir Adnan, how important is handwriting practice and paper attempting technique? What are those? Should students be more considerate about them or about completing the course?
Presentation is something that matters everywhere. So it is not only related to exams, but specifically if we talk about it, that you have to have a balanced approach towards your presentation as well. Number one is that your writing should be legible. There are many people who cannot make a legible writing. I have seen many toppers with the same approach that their writing wasn't that good, but they made it legible. So number one is to make it legible. Number two is to use of references and quotations in a balanced way, right? We are very excited when we see the first question. We almost write
most of the time there,
Yes, we were going to write about 10 to 12 sides of the question, and at the last question, we're about to end with the shortage of time, and we'll write only around 6 sides. So you have to keep in mind, each question carries the same marks.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two is that you have to have a proper usage of different interchangeable markers. You have to use them in order to make your presentation more impressive. Then you have to strike a balance between the length of the question. Moreover, you have to know this, that each page should include some sort of headings apart from the essay paper. So majority of the candidates, what they do is they have a wonderful thought, they have wonderful knowledge, but they are unable to produce it on the paper. The reason is that they haven't had the written practice, as said by Sir Taimoor. So you have to make sure that your writing practice is 80%. On the day of the paper, 20% is your presentation. I would always say that FPSC has not directed, or PPSC has not directed, that this much should be given to the presentation portion. But I have assumed that in each question, if it is 20 marks question, around 4 to 5 numbers are there for the presentation.
Definitely.
And it appeals. If everything is in symmetry, for example, we're doing this show, if it is in symmetry, if it is going
It's more
smooth,
attractive.
it would always be attractive.
Totally right, sir. Sir Taimoor, as we have talked about the writing expression and the practice as well, now let's talk about this element of luck that most of the students talk about. They see that there is a bunch of 30,000 aspirants who are appearing for the exam, and somehow most of them have done all of the practices you have mentioned. But I personally, being a student myself, get to hear this thing a lot among the students, that they didn't have the luck. Do you think luck has anything to do with the exams?
It has very much to do with the exam.
All right.
I mean, I would not quantify it, but I would go with the quotation that luck favors the brave, and winds are always on the side of the blessed navigator. If you're a blessed navigator, winds would also support you.
Okay.
They would come to rescue you. But again, I would give an analogy. The examination, a competitive examination in Pakistan, be it CSS or PMS, it's like you're a sniper. You're having 3 bullets, and you have 1 target. If you hit the target with the first bullet or second bullet or third bullet, even if the third bullet, if you hit the target, if you hit the bullseye, you win.
All right.
The same is the case with the competitive exam. What happens is that in the first bullet you fired, you went for the first attempt. The winds were not on your side. It was too windy, so that is why there was deflection on your bullet, and it did not hit the bullseye. So that is why you're given another attempt. And then second attempt, you again did that, and then again, if there was things did not go according to your planning or according to your wish and whims, so now you have a third attempt. So this is why that is the idea behind that. You're giving 3 attempts. So if luck if luck does not want you to go through this exam, so it would be 1 time, 2 time, not
Exactly.
3 times. Yes, there is a certain minority that even after taking 3 or 6 attempts, including the CSS and
Including PMS,
PMS,
all right.
they do not qualify the exam. Yes, there is luck to some extent, but not to major extent. It does not work.
So would you like to add something in it, sir?
Exactly. I would like to continue what Sir has said here. See, luck is there in almost every field that you choose in your life.
Very true.
I would always say that the end result of these services are way bigger than our imagination. If you are really into serving your people, if you're really into earning a good repute, this is the best platform. Given that, I have seen many students, they probably have qualified 11, passed 11 subjects and failed one with just 1 number.
Oh.
So you can say that if she or he has gotten that 1 number, they would probably have fallen into the best services that
Very
they would
true.
wanted. So I believe this shouldn't be thing that candidates should be concerned over.
Okay, sir, but with that, I'd like to know, there are students who go for 6 attempts, as sir has mentioned. So they spend a hell lot of time in that, but yet they do not make into it. Do you think that time that they have spent in the preparation is a wastage?
No, not exactly that way. I believe that CSS journey is a lifestyle.
Okay.
Which can teach you so many things. I'm sitting right here in front of you. I've given 5 attempts. So if
right.
it could have been 6th one as well, Allah has been very kind. So you have to make sure that it is not the case. I have seen many students who have done 6 attempts. I have not seen a single person who had a journey of competitive exams and were not able to make it any of the competitive exam. They have settled somewhere very good with the same knowledge that they have gotten from the competitive exams.
Okay.
So it's not a journey wasted. It is basically, I had the most best and wonderful spiritual experience during my journey.
Okay.
So I got to learn that because of the virtue of this examination, right? So it is not an attempt wasted, it is not the time wasted, it is not the knowledge wasted. I've seen many people who are now very successful, they can, I cannot properly name. So they are very famous journalists right now. They have given their 6 attempts.
Okay.
So it means that it is not wasted. They're using the same knowledge, same skills that they have learned there into the field. So it's not a wastage. I can tell you with my observation, with my experience, if luck is in your favor, whether you can do it or not, and majority of my predictions have been right. So it is a predictable exam. With the right approach, it is never going to be a regretful journey.
Very true. So thank you so much, sir. Sir Taimoor, as your concluding remarks as well, I'd want you to tell our students that is it necessary for them to spend 6 to 8 or maybe 10 hours a day in this journey? Or is it fine for them to, continue a certain job with it as well, and they can, work side by side for their preparation as well as for any certain job that they are doing?
Okay, the first question that how much time we need to spend in a day. So the approach towards this is, reading, it varies from person to person.
Okay.
For you, you may be able to, the syllabus which I talked about, you have broke down the syllabus and you are able to prepare your 2 questions in 4 hours. And I'm not able to do that in 4 hours. I need to take some 8 hours. So I need to read for 8 hours and you need to study for 4 hours. So it is not one cap fits all again.
Okay.
And secondly, doing with a job, it is possible, but very difficult.
Okay.
Look, our body is like, it is the moment if we are doing a job, if we are doing a part-time job, 4 to 8 hours, so we would get up, we would go to the job, our mind and body would be drained. And in CSS, we need focus study.
True.
If we are not giving focus to it, so it would be very hard for that. I'm not saying that it would be impossible, but it would be really hard for them to prepare. As compared to them, a jobian person who is, not doing a job, their job is to study 8 hours. But the problem is that a person who is not doing job, they would waste their time,
Exactly.
just doing nothing instead of studying with focus. So that is the thing. So consistency and focus are the keys, whether you're a jobian or not. And get out of this, mentality that I have to read for 4 hours or 8 hours or 20 hours. 20 hours without focus would fetch you nothing instead of 4
Very
hours
true.
with focus. And the concluding remark you said that, I would say that, I would just go with one line of Shakespeare, that fortune lives in labor's shell and all is well that ends well. So,
Very true.
The fortune, the labor shell, you have to put on the labor shell. You have to work really hard. And then, be it the first or second or the 6th attempt, no matter how long the journey was, all is well that ends well.
Very true. Sir Adnan, your concluding remarks, please. Sir.
I have to make 2 things into it, right? First of all, whoever is, thinking of going into competitive exams, keep one thing very clear in your head, that the journey is arduous. At the same time, you'll be distracted by so many things.
Okay.
For example, today, in these days, majority of the candidates, they are hearing about CSS reforms and they are panicked about it. Although nothing have been planned by the commission or any other source right now. So disinformation, misinformation is there in the market. You have to be very concentrated, number 1. Number 2 is that you have to have a strong faith.
Okay.
That is the base of your competitive exams. Number 3, you have to be kind to yourself as well. Majority of the candidates I've seen, they have locked the room, they are studying for 12 hours. That is not the approach which is going to get you through. So you have to make sure that Allah would be there for you. Your luck would be there for you.
Indeed.
At least do your best. So you have to make sure that you have this courage, you have this passion, you have this resilience, you have this dedication, you have this commitment to go into it. I can rest assure you that if you have all these things, it will turn into something which you can cherish for your whole life.
Very true. Thank you so much, Sir Taimoor, for being with us today. Thank you so much, Sir Adnan, for being with us today. With that, we call off our show, as both of our mentors have taught us today, that resilience, hard work, and most importantly, this warriorness in you to be there to win that battle is the key to success, not just in this examination, but in any other examination of your life. This is your host, Muhammad Ali Haider, signing off. Till next time, Allah Hafiz.